when I created The Body You Deserve, I guided people through this process. And I'm going to kind of give you a shortened version of that here, just so you have an experience of changing your emotion. Because here's what I want you to understand. Why do people do anything? Why do they eat? Why do they drink? Why do they smoke? Why do they yell at somebody they really love? The reason we do anything is just to change the way we feel. And you know what? As the example of food, so often people are eating or overeating. What they're really trying to get is a feeling, a state change, an emotion shift. And what's interesting is it rarely works. It works for the moment, but then it disappears. That's why they got to eat more. Well, this is true of not only eating, but almost anything else. What you have to understand is what you're really searching for is a change in the qualities of sensation, the quality of emotion that you're feeling in a moment. And the only reason you're taking any action, whether it's to buy something or to try something or read or learn, is to make that change, to change how you're feeling, and or to give yourself the ability to do that in the future. But again, let me tell you the secret. If we don't have a target for what our desire is, if we don't consciously decide how we want to feel in a given situation, then we leave ourselves open to be triggered by whatever's happening in the moment, by the environment, by the smells that may be nearby, by what people say. In other words, if we don't direct our experience, if we don't have a very, very clear target and have a set of rules about what it takes to know we've hit that target, then we might be winning and feel like we're losing simply because we're not keeping score. I've said that so many times in these tapes with you, but there hasn't been a tool to actualize it. See, let me complete the metaphor with food, and then I think I can broaden it, because I know you probably keep hearing, well, what is a quality quantifier? The scale? Well, hang in there with me. We'll get to it. Hang on. Let's complete the idea around food, because I think you could probably use it in this context. At that point, it was still an urge management tool. It was, here's how you decide to change your emotional state. First, prove to yourself you can change your emotion, that you can go from totally wanting something to hating it in a few moments. And you know what's interesting, by the way? When you do this, when you go up to plus 10 and you give yourself permission to increase your desire, that's really good. It allows your brain to know, hey, that's not so bad. I can do that, and I'm in control of it. And you start noticing how you increase your desire. Again, you may discover the way you increase your desire is to think about things in terms of scarcity. Or you may determine that the way you do it is by focusing in depth about how great something's going to be and imagining it's a taste or what it's going to feel like. Or you may discover that the way you increase your desire is to add things to the experience. Noticing your pattern of increasing desire, you can take that same understanding and increase your desire to exercise by all of a sudden doing something else while you're exercising, maybe listening to music, or by changing your focus and imagining how you're going to feel at the end. In other words, once you discover the pattern of how to increase your desires, you can even apply it to things that you once thought were mundane, like making your phone calls or doing your paperwork. And that's when we're getting into quality quantifier. But also, are there certain things you shouldn't do, certain distractions you shouldn't get involved in? It might be useful for you to find out what is the pattern that you use to lower your desire to do something. Is it to distract yourself? Is that how you do it with food? Is it to get focused into something else? Is it to imagine the negative consequences of something? Is it to add something else to think like, oh, it's bad enough I got to make these calls, but I got to talk to Mary Sue too? Oh my gosh, now I feel overwhelmed. Now I'm at -5. Are you starting to follow where I'm taking you? See, the key to making long-term change is to understand our patterns and then to utilize those patterns rather than make them wrong. To interrupt the patterns that don't work and to utilize the patterns that do. And the truth of the matter is, there are places in our life where we must increase our level of desire, and there are places in our life where we want to lower it. Beginning to become aware of how we do these things gives us an incredible amount of freedom because it puts us in control.